everybody, what's up? It's Tia, and I'm doing my review on the Braxton Family Values, Season 2.5, Episode 3. Alright everybody, let's get started. So, the first scene starts off with Towanda and Evelyn, her mom. They meet up at a restaurant, and Evelyn is telling Towanda that she wants to set her up with a date. And Tawanda's like, I really don't want to go on a date. I don't know why you're trying to do this. And Towanda basically feels like Evelyn's setting her up because she set her up on dates and the date didn't go well. And you see recaps of the two people that she did date, Evelyn. So Towanda says that Evelyn says, I'm sorry, that she doesn't want to be set up on dates anymore. She's done and through with that. And Towanda, she also tells Towanda that she's young and she needs to have fun and she needs to get out more and see new people, basically. And Towanda says, well, okay, you can set me up with a date, but he better have a platinum credit card and he better be able to wine and dine her. And she said, you're not going to send me somebody with no kickstand, somebody that's real young. And Evelyn said, no. So again, that's what she said. She needs somebody to wine her and dine her, and he wants him to have a platinum credit card. All right, Towanda. Okay, girl. All right. So that is the scene with the two of them. So you get to the next scene, which is Tamar and Vince, and they're at a restaurant, and Vincent is asking Tamar, did she take her fertility shots? And, you know, she gets a little upset. She's like, why you keep asking me that? Yeah, I took my fertility shots. I took them. She says, but, you know, it's hard for me to do them because I don't like needles. And Vince said, well, I can't do it for you. I guess I don't know why, but he just said he can't do it. And so, Tamar starts talking about a nurse. She said, well, I really wish I could get a nurse to do it, but I don't want no nurse that's real fine. Alright, Miss Tamar, come and take your shots now. And alright, so you want to get your shot now? And she was just mimicking the nurse and mimicking how pretty she would be. And she has these big breasts and she'd be all voluptuous trying to ask her to take a shot in her little nursey voice. And I'm like, Tamar. But you know, y'all know Tamar trip. So she was telling that to Vince. And then, she's saying that basically, like I said, she didn't want him to be fine and all of that. The nurse said she was going to get one. So then they get on this weird subject about when they went to Disney World. She's like, yeah, you don't take me out no more. The only place you took me to was to Disney World, and you was trying to pimp, huh? You was buying all this stuff for me. And Vince's like, what you talking about? I bought you a teddy bear. I won that for you. I didn't buy that. And she's like, yeah, you took me here. And he's like, Tamar, I didn't pay a lot of money for that. What you talking about? I'm pimping you. And she was just going on about the stuff that he bought and stuff he did for her. Yeah, you won't do that for me no more. And Vince was just laughing because, y'all, that whole scene was just like, where'd that come from? But again, y'all, we know this is Tamar, so you have to kind of expect it. And basically, the scene just ended with her goofing off and everything about this Disney trip that she was talking about with Vince. So you get to the next scene, which is Trina, Towanda, Rico, which is the director. He directs music videos, I think, and then Derek, who's the photographer. And they all meet up at the studio office setting. They all sit down. I guess Towanda comes for moral support for Trina, so they all sit down. They're there, and Trina's getting ready to she wants to really do her music video, so she's talking to them about how she wants her music video to be. And she's telling them how she wants it to be set up. She's basically saying that she wants pretty much all gay guys as her dancers. She wants a real gay flair. And they say, you don't want no females in the music video. She said, well, yeah, at first, but she said, as far as my dancers, I want them all to be guys and I want them all to be gay. She said, I want this real big gay flair. So, okay, Rico starts to talk about how he wants to set the scene. And somehow, kind of way, Derek is listening to him, and Derek is basically telling him, Rico, that his plans won't work. He said maybe 5% of it will, but the rest won't work. So they get to disagreeing, not having a fight, but they get to arguing back and forth in a disagreement way about what their vision is. Well, what Trina's vision is and how they're trying to do it. So, you know, and basically also what they're arguing about is the fact that Derek feels that Rico, for him to be a director, is taking over some of his duties, some of Derek's duties. And so that's where Derek is really having a lot of issue with as well. And so Rico's basically saying, look, I know I'm the director. He said, but in the end, he said, I will direct and you can be the photographer. He said, I won't overstep your boundaries. We'll come to agreement. You can do what you need to do. I'll do what I need to do. And I won't overstep the boundaries or overstep the duties of what I need to do, or overstepping my boundaries on what you think I need to do, and I'm not doing it the right way, or I'm taking over what you need to do. So they just kind of agree with that. And then Derek in the end says that Trina is the one that has to be happy with the end result. And y'all, that's basically the end of the scene. Towanda was just kind of like agreeing and yeah and knowing and stuff like that. She didn't really say too much in this scene. She basically was just listening to what was going on, and she pretty much let Trina talk, and then Derek and Rico did their thing with their talking. So that ends the scene with them, with the four of them. So next scene is with Trina and Gabe. Okay, Gabe comes to Trina's house and they sit down and they talk, and Trina asks Gabe if he would step in financially to help her out with her video. On a side note, Trina says that, you know, she is trying to go get a divorce through Gabe and everything like that, but she's still trying to be friends with him and still trying to work out, you know, their relationship as friends. But she's not going to lie, she really does need the money for a video. It's a lot more than she thought, and Gabe would be the one that could help her chip in. So she asked Gabe, and of course Gabe says yes, he would love to do that for her. He also said that it would be an opportunity to be closer to Trina and to work with Trina and to be around Trina. You know, in other words, he's hoping that they get back together. I mean, he didn't really say that, but he laid on really thick that he don't have a problem with it, because in the end he really wants to be around her. Whatever it takes to be around Trina, he'll do it. And that ends the scene with the two of them. So you get to the next scene, which is okay, Tamar, Tony, Vincent, Tamar's mom and Tamar's dad, Michael, they're all at the doctor's office. Now I'm assuming that he has like a hospital bed where she can lay down and whatever if he does surgery. That's what I'm thinking, because I don't think they're at no hospital. So they're at the doctor's office, and Tamar's going in to get some of her eggs out. So she's sitting in the waiting room, and Tamar's very nervous because of the procedure. And Tony is trying to comfort her, but she's also trying to tell her, well, you need to do this, you need to do that, you can't drink liquids, you can't do this. And you know, Tamar calls her, okay, Dr. Tony. She calls her Dr. Tony. And Tony's like, well, I'm not trying to be a doctor. I just know what it's like to go through this. I know what you have to do. You know, Tony's trying to be the big sister. Tamar said, you're making me more nervous by talking to me. You need to kind of like just be quiet and just be my sister. Don't say nothing. And Tony was like, okay. And so then the doctor kind of reiterated some of what Tony said, and then some other different stuff. She said, see, you're supposed to know everything, and you don't know everything. And I said, well, that's what I was told. That's what I had to do or something. So, you know. So, you know, they kind of joke around and stuff like that. And then while Tamar is out of the room to get prepped, her father starts talking about, well, you know, Tamar's so forgetful. You know, Tamar was forgetful when she was a kid. She forgot her doll. She forgot this. She forgot that. And they all have kind of like a big laugh about that, you know, at Tamar's expense as her being a kid. And that ends the scene with all of them. So you get to the next scene, which is Trina, Derek, which is a photographer, and Victor. Okay, so they're at the studio, like where you do auditions and stuff like that. So they're discussing the video concept, and Trina's basically saying that they need 50 people as dancers. And Victor left early. He had to go and do something else, so he left early. And then Rico takes his place. Rico steps in, y'all. So the people come in, and Rico says, you know, I don't want to hear you really talk or speak. Just dance and let the music go with you. Just do your thing and just dance, basically. So the people come in, girls and guys, they all just start to dance. So you see different girls and guys dancing, freestyling to the music that they're playing, which is, I don't think it's anything specific music, just music, just to see how they are and how they can work their body. So you see them doing all of that, and then after they're done, they thank everybody, and then Trina has like a couple guys to stay so she can get her her love interest. So, because in this video, she's going to have an on-screen kiss, she's going to have an on-screen romance with this guy. So she lets a couple guys stay back, and of course, that's when Gabe walks in. Y'all know that stuff is staged if he had to walk in just at this time. So he walks in just as Trina's getting ready to audition this guy for this kiss, and so she asked the guy, I want to do a kiss. Do you have a problem with kissing me? And he said no. And she said, okay, well, let me just see what you can do. Let me just see your kiss. Real quick kiss. So they kiss while Gabe is in the background looking. And so Trina says, okay. And she said, we'll give you a call or whatever. It was just this one guy that she kissed. And so they all leave. And then Gabe is still staying in the background. And then on a side note, Trina says she does appreciate Gabe chipping in, but she also knows that Gabe is jealous. She also knows that that's his nature and everything, and she kind of, says that of all times for him to come in, that's when he wants to come in. She says she's not going to let Gabe stand in her way because she's trying to get this done for her music video, but he's a distraction because of how he is with other people when she's there. So she mentions that, and then Gabe was like, did you actually kiss that guy? I can't believe you kissed him. She's like, yeah, I'm doing it for my video. And what? You need to stay out there and leave it alone. She kind of got a little upset. And Gabe was like, well, why don't I just lay my stuff out there? Let me kiss a girl. Let me show my penis. And Rico said, show your penis. He said, you don't need to show your penis. Oops, we already seen your penis already. Everybody's seen your penis. And Lord, Trina just cracked up. Gabe's standing there like, okay. And Trina on the side note said that she was sorry for laughing at Gabe, but it was funny. And I mean, she busted out laughing, y'all. So Gabe got it back at his own expense. And that is the scene with them, and that whole scene with the dancers. So you get to the next scene, which is Tamar. She's basically came through from surgery. The doctor is saying that they got 6 eggs from her, so they can try and start this fertility treatment. And the doctor said we gotta wait to put the eggs in. I'm like, well, eggs in her or eggs in the surrogate? But they gotta wait. So you basically see Tamar coming out of sedation, and she's kind of like groggy, and she's just listening to the doctor talking about what he has done and what he's going to do and things like that. And everybody's around her mom, her dad, Tony, they're all there while she's waking up. And they're just basically talking about the procedure and what needs to be done next, which is little ins and outs of what the doctor said. And that it was a success of what they had to do, and that she's going to come back whenever she's ready. And so you see Tamar getting up and getting ready to leave. She's in a wheelchair, and they kind of wheel her out to the outside so they can get her in to the car so they can go back home. And that's basically what that whole scene was. So that's the end of the scene with all of them. So next scene is Towanda and Trina. Lord, them two fools. Okay, excuse me, y'all. Towanda meets Trina at Trina's house because Towanda wants to borrow a dress from Trina. She wants to try on and wear something different for some reason. So she goes to her house, and Towanda emphasizes that she wants to wear something that will make her breasts look bigger because she has small breasts. And Trina's like, you don't gotta worry about that, just wear something that you like. And Tawanda's like, but I don't want it to be just what I like, it's gotta fit me. I want my breasts a little bigger. And Trina was just kind of like blowing her off. And on the side note, Tawanda's like, I don't understand why Trina doesn't understand where I'm coming from, because she used to have small breasts too. We were all from that same itty bitty titty committee, and she must have forgotten what it's like to have small breasts, which is insinuating that Trina got her breasts done. I didn't know that. I knew Tony did, but I didn't know Trina got her breasts done. But it makes sense now, because I guess all of them are small chested, except for maybe Tracy. But anyway, so Trina's blowing her off. So then Trina asked her about Andre. She said, did you tell Andre that you're going on this blind date? And Towanda said no. And she said, you're not going to tell him? And she said no. She said, well, I really don't want to tell him because I don't want to get into it with him. You know, this is about something I'm trying to do and I don't want to get involved. But at first, Towanda did tell Trina that she told Andre. She's like, oh my God, what did he say? You know, that Trina was a mess. And then she said, no, I'm just playing. I didn't tell him. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that part first. So she said, I don't really want to tell him. I just want to do this and see what it's like and, you know, go from there. I don't want to get into it with Andre about the date. So Trina says, okay. So then she's asking different questions about what would you do on a date? Would you kiss on the first date? And Towanda said, no, I've never been that kind of person. I just want to make it nice and simple. She said, even if you like him? And Towanda said, yeah, even if I like him, I'm not going to be that forward. I'm just not that kind of person. So supposedly Towanda has a crush on Hill Harper, which is an actor, and also he's written, I think, several books in the recent past. So she said, well, what if it was Hill Harper? Would you kiss on Hill Harper? Would you smooth on him? And all this kind of stuff that Trina was doing. And Towanda said, no, even if it's Hill Harper, because I'm just not that kind of person. So Trina thinks she's kind of like a wet bag because she's not interesting enough, and they kind of just joke around and push around, and that ends the scene with them two. So you get to the next scene, which is Towanda, and she's on her blind date. She's at the restaurant waiting for the guy to come, and she's sitting there waiting. She knows she looks nice and everything, waiting to come in, wait for him to come in. And the person comes in, she says, oh my God, you're my blind date. She said, get out of here. And y'all, guess who the blind date was? Yep, you guessed it. Andre, her husband Andre. Evelyn set Towanda up with her own husband as her blind date. Towanda said, I can't believe that it was him. And on the side note, she said, man, she said, I could have had my bullet and my 8 batteries and sat at home and had me a good old time. I didn't need to come out on a date for this. Y'all, Towanda. Okay. Yeah, she could have had her bullet and her AA batteries. Okay, Towanda. So, Andre sits down. He says, listen, he said, I know you're surprised that I'm your blind date, but I really wanted to do this. He said, I'm glad that your mom set us up for this date. I'm glad you didn't know it was me. He said, I really appreciate you. I care about you. I love you. I want to spend time with you. He said, I think this is my second chance to just to be with you. And he said, I just want to try and do everything I can. So he's laying on real thick. So he had I thought he had flowers, so I'm not sure if he did, but he gave her some bath salts as a gift, all wrapped up. He gave her some chocolate, and he gave her, I believe this is what I said, I think he gave her some roses, and he gave her a tiara to go on her head. And he said that she is a queen to him. Y'all, that was so nice. But y'all, Andre was laying on super duper thick. So, you know, Towanda was him. She said, you know, this is all nice and everything. She said, but can I ask you something? And he's like, what? He said, are you doing all this to get laid? And he said, no, absolutely not. He said, I'm not trying to do that. He said, if anything, I respect the fact that you don't want to, you know, jump in the bed so fast. Is what he was insinuating. Now, that's her husband, but y'all know that they supposedly ain't been together for a long time, trying to separate the whole 9 yards. He said, no, I appreciate the fact that you're not like that, and I know I have to work my way back into your heart, but I really want a second chance. I want to try and work on our relationship, and, you know, I really want you to just give me another chance. So she was like, well, okay, I hear what you're saying. And Towanda says that he has to put into action to make the marriage work. So she said it's all talk and no action. She said if he puts into the action, then maybe she can see that he's really serious and he's about what he's really talking about, not just all talk, all words. So that's what she said, and that ends the scene with them two. We don't even see him eating dinner or nothing. We just see him talking. But that's the end of their scene. So you get to the next scene, which is Trina. She's at the dance studio and she's working on her moves for her music video. Now, Trina says that she's not a good dancer, and for her to get down a lot of steps takes her a lot of time, and she doesn't have a lot of time because she has to learn this in a week, I believe is what she said. So she's practicing, and Towanda and Derek come in, And then I think Derek leaves not too long after he gets by. So Towanda stays, and she's like, Trina, you gotta put some stank in it. You gotta work it in. And Trina's like, I'm trying, you know. And you can see that Trina is really struggling with the moves. And Trina's saying that she's also messing up. And like I said, she said it takes her a long time to learn her dance moves, and she doesn't have a lot of time. So you basically just see her practicing. And then towards the end of the scene, she looked like she's getting better and, you know, perfecting what she's trying to do. But you can still see that she's struggling. And that's basically the end of the scene with them. In the scene. So you get to the next scene, which is Towanda, Trina, and Evelyn. They're all at Trina's house. Okay. So first it's just Towanda and Trina. So Towanda asked about Trina's video, and Trina says she's really stressed about it because her plans to have the music video is not what it's making itself out to be, mainly financially, because she said what she was trying to put money-wise in has gone way over, and you know, it's not working out, and she's stressing out. And I think she did tell her about Gabe chipping in financially, and so they began to talk more about that. And Towanda suggests flying down Tracy to help her out with her endeavors and music video and things of that nature. And Trina's like, really, you would really do that? She said, yeah, I'll fly down Tracy, because Trina really doesn't have the money, so I guess Towanda was going to foot the bill and fly her down there to help her out. And you know, Trina was very thankful and grateful for that, because she said that would really help her out. So once they start finishing that conversation up, and walks their mom. So their mom sit down and talk. And so Towanda begins to talk about her blind date. And I guess Trina found out afterwards that it was Andre. I guess at the time she didn't know it was Andre. So she's like, yeah, tell me about your date. I heard you had a nice date. And Towanda was like, y'all know Towanda was mad because she didn't want to date be Andre. And Evelyn was like, yeah, I set you up with your husband because I thought that would be something that you two need to do and work it out and see how things go. She said, I really believe that Andre loves you, and maybe, you know, you can get a second chance with Andre. So, you know, Trina was just kind of like agreeing, and then, you know, Towanda was just upset. She's like, I really didn't want to go out with Andre. And Trina is saying, you know, how did you act on the blind date? How did you feel? And, you know, Towanda was so stiff. And Trina's like, you know, I don't understand that about you. You're so cold. You're such a stone, is what she called her. And Towanda said, no, I'm not a stone. And Evelyn agreed. She said, no, she's not a stone. She's just trying to guard her feelings. And she doesn't want to let her feelings out if she doesn't have to. And that's what you see. And Trina was saying that she shouldn't be like that. She should be more relaxed and laid back and reveal her feelings more and not be so stiff. In other words, a stone. And so I think Trina was the one that asked her, why don't you date then? She said, if you're talking about you wanna move on, why haven't you dated anybody? And Towanda basically said she's not dating because of her kids. And Trina said, I don't believe that. I think that's a cop out. That's a bad excuse. That's not a good reason. You just don't want to date. Either you want to be with Andre or you just don't want to date at all. But don't use your kids as an excuse. And Towanda basically said that wasn't an excuse, but Trina's not buying it. And, you know, Evelyn basically says, you know, you're looking for somebody to woo you and dine you and everything like that. And Towanda was basically saying the same thing about Andre, that he has to woo her and show her his actions before she can see whether or not they can make it as a couple. Because remember, y'all, she filed for separation papers. So her thing is all about, I guess she was talking about guys in general too, but she said that they have to woo her and show her his actions before she can move on to that next level. So they basically agreed, and then that's the end of the scene with them. So you get to the last scene, which is the whole family minus Towanda because her daughter was sick. Tamar chartered a boat for her husband and then her whole family. So Towanda was supposed to come but couldn't because her daughter was sick. So Tracy was there, Tony was there, Trina was there, Mom and Dad was there, and they're all sitting inside the boat, and they're just talking basically about Tamar and her plans to have her baby. And Tamar was basically like, you know, we gotta see what goes on, we gotta see what happens. And Tamar saying she's hopeful about babies, and Vincent said, what about you? Vincent said he's ready. And then Tracy said she can't wait till Tamar has babies and everything, and the babies will whoop Tamar's ass because that's what she deserves because of how she's been. And she said something about she would tell Tamar she was going to babysit and then won't show up. She said she just can't wait to see that happen because that's what Tamar gets. And then Tamar basically starts talking about, you know, maybe she will take one of her eggs and save it so that she'll keep one of her eggs so that maybe she can sell it and get a lot of money for it. They're like, what are you talking about? She said, you know how some of the famous people sell their eggs to people and they can have one of their eggs, and they named somebody famous or two. And she said, yeah, like that. And everybody was shocked. They were like, Tamar, you don't need to be doing that. And they just kind of looked at her like, you know, they were shocked. And that's pretty much how the scene ended, just like with her saying that and them being shocked and confused about what she said about selling one of her eggs. And everybody, that is the end of the show, and that's the end of my recap and my review. So next week looks like it's going to be very good. Gabe is going to get into it with this video with Trina and her scenes and stuff like that, talking about he got the money and all that. So it's probably going to be really stanky yanky. They show Vince and Tamar and Tracy. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. The highlight from what I remember is Gabe and Trina in this video, so stay tuned. I will try to put next week's episode up as well and do a review. So everybody, like I said, that is the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment, rate, and if you're not a subscriber, then please subscribe to my channel, okay? Alright, everybody. I'd like to thank you for watching. Y'all have a good evening or a good day, depending on when you're seeing it. Y'all take care, and I hope to see you in the next video, alright? Alright, everybody. Until then, y'all take care. Peace and blessings, y'all. Bye-bye.